I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another player review, and this will be out of reach of many, I'm sure. It was out of my reach until yesterday. If you watched the video I posted last night, which I'm sure most of you have done by now, I opened a Prime Icon pack on, I would say, my main account. It's the account I don't really play that many games on, and I was grinding some upgrades just to basically get a video, and I was grinding toward an Icon pack. And in the Icon pack, I managed to get this unreal card, quite literally the best Prime Icon in FIFA 20. And you can argue that Pele is better because he's higher rated, but Ronaldo is currently valued at around 8 to 10 million, maybe even a bit more. He's extinct on PC, which is the platform I play on, and Pele is around 3 million. So even though he's higher rated, I still think Ronaldo is arguably the best because he is by far the most expensive. My Prime Icon luck in general has picked up the last few days. I packed Hullet on a different account through a Prime Icon pack a couple of days ago, and then we've got Ronaldo this time. Before this, I packed Drogba twice. So, yeah, it can turn very, very quickly. 96 rated Prime Icon Ronaldo. I've never used him outside of maybe a couple of games loan here or there, and that was probably the 90 rated version. I don't think I've even ever used him in a draft, really. I mean, not that I do drafts that often, but I've just never really used him. So I had absolutely no idea what to expect. Obviously, given the fact that he is one of the most expensive players in the game, and he's probably one of the most sought after. You know, people say, oh, he's not R9 or anything, but he's still a good card. You know, people always compare cards to this guy. People say, well, yeah, okay, he's good, but he's not as good as R9. So I went into this with very high expectations. I wanted to be blown away. I expected to be blown away. Will that happen? 5-star, 5-star. I cannot stress how valuable that is, and that's, again, if he was 3-star, 4-star or something, he wouldn't be as expensive as he is. The fact that he's 5-star, 5-star is just, I would probably say maybe 30% of the reason he's expensive as he is. It's just, he's up there and he's as desirable he is because of how desirable 5-star, 5-star is. Medium work rate's not ideal. Right-footed, and his body type is R9, so he's essentially going to be as close to Ronaldo of old as you will remember, or seen from clips if you're not old enough to have ever seen him play. This guy, obviously, I grew up watching him. He was just majestic, unbelievable. He actually played in, I think it was a World Cup final, it might be 1998. I think France beat Brazil in that World Cup. I'm purely going off memory now. And Ronaldo was taken ill moments before kickoff, literally about an hour or so before kickoff, and there were rumours, I'm not sure if this has been confirmed or not, that he actually swallowed his tongue, or at least nearly swallowed his tongue, just before kickoff, and then managed to get up and out of it, and obviously the medics helped him and everything, and he still played. And of course they lost, and he wasn't really an influence on the game, but that's just, you know, the kind of person he was, his desire to play that game despite the fact that he almost died just before kickoff. That's the team I've got him in, of course. If you've seen the Adama Traore review, then you may have seen some of the goals that Ronaldo scored, but you won't have seen all of them. My main tactic with this team was to quite literally give the ball to Adama, or rather launch the ball forward for Adama to run after, and then play the ball into Ronaldo. As you can see here, we're looking for it. Foden finds him. He gets over the top, and then it's all down to Adama Traore to get into the penalty area and to just cut it back and find Ronaldo. And that was primarily the tactic through every game, and the reason for that was just because of how effective Adama Traore is on the outside. But that's not to say that Ronaldo isn't effective, because this guy is unbelievably good. I went into it with high expectations, but he surpassed them in every which way. I knew he was going to be good, I just didn't think he was going to be as good as I thought he would be. I was playing free football. You know, sometimes you go into a game and you know you have a structure, right? So I need to get into a certain area. I need to play it to a certain player who can look for a certain run, we can send out a certain player on a run. This was just free football. I was doing whatever I wanted. And, you know, a lot of people will play like that, sure. But I just went into it purely with the intention of just trying to have a bit of fun and score some just different goals. Of course, this won't be a surprise to many of you who may have used him in draft or just knew that he was going to be fantastic, but it is unbelievable how good he is compared to certain cards. Bear in mind, of course, this was a card that had his stats decided probably at launch, and he's obviously now competing against some of the top team of the season and summer heat cards that on paper are probably better, but you have that icon factor, and we talk about it a lot, especially recently with the amount of icons I've started to review. The icon factor is something that I think exists in FIFA, however, isn't documented. What I mean by that is, if you have an icon, and regardless of what their stats look like, they will perform better than their stats suggest purely because they're an icon. I use Moments Ian Rush regularly. Reason for that is because he's a former Liverpool player. I'm a Liverpool fan. I've got a Liverpool team on the road to glory. Kind of just fits. He was cheap enough as well, so I thought, why not? Let's just go buy him and see how many goals. I mean, look at that for a goal. See how many goals and assists we can get between now and the end of the game. And I'm happy to say that he's doing really well. But his stats on paper, they're decent, but they're not as good as a lot of summer heat cards or even team of the season cards that are out on the market. So why does he feel better than those? How is his finishing better? And it's the same for Ronaldo. How is this card as good as it is, given the fact that on paper he's not as good as other cards? And it's all down to the icon factor. It's just a thing that has to exist. If it doesn't exist, then I don't know what to tell you. But icons generally feel better, regardless of who they are. I mean, okay, the likes of Drogba and stuff, they are all but unusable in this game, unfortunately. But they do still have a little bit of something about them. Ronaldo's finishing knows no limits. He can score from whatever angle he's at, whichever sort of off-balance position he's in, and whichever foot he decides to strike the ball, he can and will score a goal. Very rarely did I miss the target. In fact, I don't even think I missed the target once. The goalkeeper made a couple of decent saves, and if they can't make a save, they just have to foul him because there's just no other way to stop him. He is absolutely unbelievable. Now, I'm not going to give him 100 for two reasons. A, the price. The price is something that, again, I've talked about this a lot in FIFA. I think that, okay, you can't argue that the cap is, I would say, semi-reasonable. You know, when price ranges first came in and cards were getting capped at 15 million, there were an awful lot of people who were concerned by it, and there were a lot of people who were happy with it, right? So there's two ways to look at it. But with that being said, can a player realistically be worth upwards of 10 million and it be fair? That is unobtainable for 99.99% of people who play this game, unless you get extremely lucky, like myself, to pack him, or you are one of the best players in the game and you can finish top 100 and rack up all these rewards, play draft until your eyes bleed and rack up all the coins and rewards you need to get him. Or, of course, you plough in as many FIFA points as your mother's bank card will allow and you manage to get enough coins together to buy him. I mean, okay, there are trading methods and things like that, but for the majority of people, it's just not going to be an obtainable card. Is that wrong or is it right? I don't know, that's a discussion for another video, but that has to be a reason to sort of mark him down slightly. And it's nothing on him necessarily, it's just the market, but this is such an unobtainable card for, you know, the majority, if not all of the player base, that it's just, it's top tier, but you kind of have to mark him down for it because not everyone is going to get a chance to play with him outside of draft in their main team. The other reason, maybe a high attacking work rate could have been nice, and there are a few other things like stamina. The stamina is probably the only real concern that I have outside of the price, and that's because 81 stamina on a card does mean that toward the end of the game you might have to think about taking him off. I didn't really. I mean, there were a couple of times I was thinking, do you know what, if I was playing with Team of the Season Aubameyang or something that I've also got in my club, I probably would have taken him off. You know, I would maybe have brought on a flashback Mertens or something, but I don't want to take Ronaldo off because it's Ronaldo. You know, like I know it's fresh, and given 60, 70 games down the road, maybe I will be like, okay, it's fine, I can take him off, you know, because guess what? I've still got him and I can play with him next game. But at the moment, because he's so new and fresh to me, I kind of don't want to take him off. The reason I'm not done value for coins there is because it's so subjective. You know, people will say, well, you get what you pay for. This card is one of the best you've ever used, and I would arguably say he is the best card I've used in FIFA. And I had Summer Heat Ribery up there as probably the best card that I used. But Ronaldo is just so much better. Honestly, I pick up the ball anywhere on the pitch with him, and I'm like, right, I'm going to score. It's just, I know I'm going to be able to do it. 5-star is unbelievable. He's quick. He's strong. He's got unreal agility and dribbling and ball control for someone 6 foot with a arguably stocky body type. He's just brilliant. And I don't know why I thought maybe I would be a little bit let down by this. Like I said, I went in with high expectations, but a part of me thought, you're going to be let down here because your expectations are too high. Not a bit of it. Absolutely unreal. If you've been lucky enough to try him, let me know what you think in the comments. Am I just excited because I've packed him? Am I just making it out to be something it's not just because I've packed him? I don't think so, really. But hey, let me know in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.